There are few things in the world that are as exciting as a nice video game reveal, especially when they're good. But then there are the ones that are bad. That's what we're counting down today. Hi guys, DPX here, doing the top 10 most hated video game reveals of all time. Now keep in mind, I'm only talking about the reveals here, not the games. When a game is on here, it doesn't mean that the game is bad. Although, while most of them are bad, there are actually a good number of them that are pretty good. Some of them even critically acclaimed, but the trailers and the reveals, specifically, got some noticeable backlash. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. But before we do that, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a comment, or I will cancel you.
I wanted to give to you, in the last part of your notes here, the significance spiritually of the number 10 in the Bible.
We all love Metroid. Metroid is one of Nintendo's OG franchises on the NES and feels like it just finally came back with Metroid Dread. And when I say it came back, that was after Metroid Other M. But there was another game in between Other M and Dread. We just forget about that one on purpose. I remember Metroid Prime Federation Force being announced and being confused. Where's Samus and who the fuck are these guys? That was kind of the main thing. Many people really wanted to see Metroid come back, and we got this. Not to mention, the game was announced with just no fanfare. Metroid Prime Federation Force was announced at an E3, and Nintendo just moved on to the next game like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Nobody really cared for this game, as it seemed like a game that shouldn't have the Metroid name slapped on there. And if you ignore the Metroid name, it looked like a generic shooter that takes place in space. Not a good look. Oh, what was that, Nintendo? You thought you were done with only Federation Force? Well, sit down, shut up, I'm not done with you. And I still won't be after this entry. There was a tough period to be a Nintendo fan. I want to say from like 2015 to 16. That was like peak, put the fucking Wii U out of its goddamn misery already, period. And one of its very last titles, the Wii U that is, was Paper Mario Color Splash, and people were not happy, to put it lightly. Now to be fair, time has been rather kind to Paper Mario Color Splash, as while it's not the best game ever, it's not as bad as many people predicted. But this was coming off of Sticker Star, which changed up Paper Mario, and the changes weren't really well received at all. Many people just wanted a traditional Paper Mario game like the original N64 game or the Thousand Year Door, but many fans thought Nintendo were sticking with a style that didn't work. And yes, Paper Mario Color Splash looked to have that same exact style, the mechanics and everything that people did not like about Sticker Star. This certainly did not help Nintendo during its dark period, and good thing this game was pretty decent, or else the backlash would have been worse.
So I'm going to be giving this flavor 8.5 out of 10 scoops.
Oh, Konami, you sure like to piss people off now, don't you? Seriously though, once a world-renowned video game publisher now likes to make pachinko machines in mobile games. Case in point, Castlevania, such a badass video game franchise that has been dormant for a while, and many people wanted a new game in the franchise. And well, it may be easy to forget, but Konami actually did make a new Castlevania game that wasn't a collection or anything like that, and it was a mobile game. I specifically remember being confused and a little annoyed at the announcement of Castlevania Grimoire of Souls because, well, of course, fuck you, Konami, but also, it seemed that if this game was not on mobile, you would probably have a legitimate game here. It looks like a Castlevania game as we know it, but it was just put on mobile, and by the way, never released here in the States, as it only released in Japan, and on top of that, it got discontinued. Pointless?
36.
Very close, but that's not it. Let's go to Gary the Retard. What number between 2 and 4?
7.
So Pokemon Presents is an occasional Pokemon-focused Nintendo Direct we get every now and then. One time, there was this one Pokemon Presents that ended with an announcement of another Pokemon Presents for the next week. Many people were eager to find out what this game was and why it was so important that they had to reveal it a whole week later than everything else. And then it ended up being a MOBA from Tencent that was half mobile game. Now look, I've actually played a bit of Pokemon Unite, and it actually isn't really that bad. And I wasn't really mad when Pokemon Unite was revealed initially, but you gotta consider the circumstances. You made your fans wait another week after a bunch of other announcements. The Pokemon Company sets those expectations high just by doing that, because they make it seem like this game is big enough for its own showcase. Not to mention, this game was mainly being helmed by Tencent, and you might not be familiar with them, but take a look at how many studios they own and just how much money they make off of microtransactions. And even if you don't think you know them, you know them. Pokemon Unite ended up being pretty decent though, for what it was, but as an announcement, it certainly wasn't worth waiting a full week for.
Okay, Mrs. Puff, what's my final score?
6.
Woo! Now I am cheating a bit here, because this isn't a game, but I don't care, this deserves to be on here. And maybe it's just that it's very recent, or at least I wrote this when it was very recent. I'm recording this a lot later though, but still, GTA Plus is probably the stupidest joke any video game company has ever told. Except it's not a joke, they're actually doing this. I don't know if you really understand this, but GTA 5 is a little over a year away from being 10 years old. And I also don't know if you know this either, but GTA 5 is the #1 most profitable entertainment product of all time. Yes, not just video games, but more than any movie, show, music album, sports event, anything. GTA 5 is #1. For Rockstar, who don't make any games anymore, to still try to milk GTA 5 2 console generations later with a goddamn subscription service is absolutely laughable. It's a fucking joke. Rockstar is a company many people adored, and for the longest time, they had a near untouchable track record, but throughout the years, their reputation has sunk faster than when you sunk my battleship. And GTA Plus ain't helping them at all.
Chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 killed my brother.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Of every game on this list, I'm sure a lot of you might actually remember their divisive reveals, at least for a little bit. However, the critically acclaimed Legend of Zelda Wind Waker actually had a very controversial reveal, but since the game was so critically acclaimed, it's easy to forget just how controversial this reveal was. Basically, one year at E3, Nintendo showed a GameCube tech demo with Link and Ganon fighting, and it looked awesome. It looked like a dark and more ambitious Zelda game for the new console, the GameCube. However, the new Zelda game was then announced, and it was Wind Waker, a more cartoony take on Zelda in terms of visual style. Needless to say, this was a complete 180 from that tech demo, and people were pissed, despite the fact that it was just a tech demo. Luckily, Wind Waker came out and is considered one of the best Zelda games ever, so it's a good thing that its hugely hated reveal is mostly forgotten. Artifact. Remember this game? Okay, to be honest, I'm not sure if just talking about this reveal can do it justice, so let me just play you a clip of the crowd reaction to this game's reveal at an esports event. Yeesh, you can feel, not even just hear, you can feel everyone's souls just leaving their body. This was because many people love Valve. They make some fantastic IPs like Half-Life, Portal, Dota, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, CSGO. I can go on, but as we know, they only go up to 2. Every single IP I just listed to you does not have any more than 2 installments, 2 mainline installments, unless you count Half-Life Alyx, but it looked like they were showing off a brand new game with Artifact, but as it turns out, it was a spin-off of Dota, and it was just a trading card game. The trailer really led you to believe it was a big new immersive experience, another MOBA, or a brand new IP, but no, a fucking trading card game. I never really understood the rush for trading card games. They have their audience, but they're just not for me. But I think even people who play games like Magic the Gathering and, games like that, could agree that this is not at all what fans wanted. Fans of Valve wanted a new game, and Valve knew that, which is why they made a CG trailer for Artifact and had it look like it wasn't a trading card game. It was just a huge middle finger for Valve's many fans. Oh look, Konami is back, and I'm sure you know what it is. Metal Gear Survive. What is Metal Gear Survive? Well, actually, we unfortunately know what Metal Gear Survive is, but why is Metal Gear Survive? Why did Konami feel the need to make a new Metal Gear game just to make it a monetized zombie game? Konami just loves to burn bridges, don't they? They love to turn their own fans against them. Their reputation took a nosedive once they fired Kojima, and this was also after Metal Gear concluded with Phantom Pain, which a lot of people seem to not like. I thought that game was really solid. Instead of letting the franchise rest after its damn fine conclusion, they decided to zombify it. In more ways than one, really. Not only is this just not Metal Gear, but it wasn't even done well. But again, the main reason people were mad about this is because this wasn't what fans wanted, and Konami sure as hell knew that, which is why they did it.
Pencil do we take again?
Number 2. Take a number 2.
Looks like you took a big number 2.
So YouTube claims that the removal of dislikes is to help smaller creators. We all know the real reason they're doing this though, it's to protect all of these corporations. Why am I bringing that up? Well, it reminds me of how Call of Duty Infinite Warfare had the most disliked video game trailer, at least up to that point, and I think still of all time. Could be wrong though. Now, I never personally got into Call of Duty that much, so I don't share the anger many had with this reveal, but from what I was able to gather, many people were sick of the futuristic Call of Duties and just wanted a regular, more traditional one. By looking at the comments for the trailer, many people say that it was trying too hard to be Halo or too hard to be Destiny, while Battlefield 1 was coming out in that same year and it was beating Call of Duty in the hype alone. Surprisingly enough though, this is an example of time actually being pretty kind, as many players seem to really like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is good, but this game is at number 2 because it is the most disliked video game trailer of all time. That says something. Before we get to number 1, let's look at some honorable mentions.
Luigi, number 1.
Do you guys not have phones? Huh? No, you guys do have phones, right? Yeah, Diablo Immortal is here. Imagine you go to BlizzCon, an annual convention based solely around your favorite video game company, Activision Blizzard. The only way to watch the convention is either you spend a fuck ton of money to travel there, or watch it live on their Twitch, which, by the way, was also locked behind a paywall. So, needless to say, there's no free way to watch this. Now imagine all that and your final game, the final new game you get, your big new announcement to leave your fans off on, and give them a thank you for coming, to spend their hard-earned cash to experience this live. You give them a Diablo mobile game. Now don't get me wrong, despite much of what I've been saying, if they want to make a Diablo mobile game, why not? It's not like they were doing this instead of Diablo 4, which was announced at the next year's BlizzCon, but leaving your most loyal and hardcore fans that spent their hard-earned money to celebrate Blizzard on a mobile game when you know, Blizzard, you guys know, that your audience are PC gamers predominantly. So acting like that's what your fans wanted, yeah, fuck you too. But hey, at least Diablo Immortal came out, and it was actually pretty... Wait, it's still not out? This game was announced in 2018, mind you, and it's still not out, and it doesn't look like it's coming out anytime soon. Yeah, so much for that. So that was my list. Did I leave any out? Give me your most hated reveals in the comments below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, come subscribe, or I will cancel you. Bye-bye.